The Buffalo Bills Week 9 performance in the 2025 season was a showcase of offensive evolution, a game defined not by volatility or improvisation, but by calculated precision and structural dominance. Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid, and James Cook operated in complete synchronization within a scheme that blurred the line between play design and player instinct. Every snap felt like an orchestration of leverage, timing, and rhythm, a deliberate rejection of chaos in favor of control. The Bills' offense, once dependent on Allen's heroics, has become a balanced, methodical unit built around personnel versatility, pre-snap multiplicity, and an elite ability to dictate defensive spacing. Josh Allen played perhaps one of the most efficient games of his career, completing 23 of 26 passes for 273 yards and a touchdown with a plus 11.4% completion over expected. His time to throw 2.64 seconds was evidence of both quick decision-making and patience within pocket structure. Allen no longer forced windows or drifted into pressure. He let the offense flow through its intended progressions, hitting nearly every depth layer with anticipation and balance. The passing chart told the story of a quarterback in total command: short throws to rhythm the drive, intermediate seams to move the sticks, and deep, high-efficiency verticals to punish soft zones. The Bills' approach was built around creating coverage conflict rather than explosive desperation, and Allen executed it with surgical consistency. At the heart of this new identity was Dalton Kincaid, who has become Buffalo's structural cornerstone. His 6 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown on a perfect 100% catch rate reflect more than just production. They reveal how Kincaid functions as the gravitational hub of the entire system. His alignment versatility, splitting time equally between slot, tight, and wide, forced defenses into uncomfortable disguises. On several plays, Buffalo motioned Kincaid to identify coverage shells, then immediately attacked the voids those rotations created. His vertical seams and crossing routes stretched linebackers beyond recovery, while his precision in intermediate windows gave Allen easy rhythm completions that continuously reset down and distance. His touchdown came from one such manipulation, a play-action seam route from under center that froze linebacker number 56, vacating the second level, and allowing Allen to deliver a strike before the safety could rotate. Kincaid's efficiency in all phases, plus 262 EPA per target, plus 4 RYOE, and multiple first down conversions, made him the fulcrum of a passing attack designed around leverage and tempo. Supporting this aerial efficiency was a ground game that embodied complementary precision. James Cook carried the ball 27 times for 114 yards, not as an explosive play generator, but as the rhythmic heartbeat that kept Buffalo on schedule. His rushing chart revealed a deliberate mix of inside zone, duo, and pinpull concepts, roughly a 50-50th split between interior and perimeter designs. The Bills' run game was at its most efficient under center, where Cook's patience and vision allowed the line's double teams to develop before he pressed and cut vertically. With an EPA of plus 0.07 on inside runs and plus 0.15 on outside zone, Cook's success stemmed from disciplined reads rather than pure burst. His negative RYOE per carry, 0.1, actually underscored the system's strength. Most of his yardage came as designed, behind consistent blocking leverage and tight end edge control. When Buffalo needed tempo, Cook was the metronome. When they needed conversion, Josh Allen or TyJohnson provided the punctuation. Johnson's limited snaps were just as impactful. In short yardage and red zone scenarios, he carried twice for 8 yards, both successful conversions, posting an elite +2, 1 RYOE per carry, and plus 0.78 EPA per attempt. His burst and acceleration complemented Cook's steady rhythm, giving Buffalo a lateral change up against stacked fronts. In goal line packages, Allen once again emerged as the closer. His 2 red zone rushes, both successful and worth plus 0.98 EPA per attempt, demonstrated how quarterback-designed power runs remain a cheat code for Buffalo. Defenses stacked boxes in response to heavy personnel, yet Allen's mobility and threat of boot action consistently inverted their leverage. Against loaded fronts, 8+ defenders, Buffalo still averaged plus 0.2. Power rush, an almost absurd efficiency mark that speaks to how play sequencing and personnel usage have neutralized defensive aggression. If conservatism and personnel usage have neutralized defensive aggression. Weird schön aggression. That ain't anything spexy. None of that shit actors. But that's elaborating. Schematically, Buffalo leaned into 12 personnel, 2 tight ends for nearly half of its offensive snaps. A foundation that gave the unit flexibility to morph from downhill duo to vertical flood without changing alignment. In these sets, Kincaid and Dawson Knox created mirror reads, one running the seam, the other dragging underneath, often against cover 3 match shells. This created perpetual confusion for linebackers, who were forced to choose between stepping up against the run or sinking into intermediate coverage zones. The offense's formational integrity extended to the run game as well. Out of under center formations, Buffalo averaged plus 0.61 EPA per attempt with a 60% success rate, a number that illustrates the balance between physicality and design. In shotgun, while the output was less efficient, the look served its purpose as a decoy for RPO screens and play-action rhythm passes. The red zone was where all these layers converged. Every condensed formation, every pre-snap motion, and every personnel grouping served a singular purpose: stress the second level. On Kincaid's touchdown, the Bills aligned in a heavy set with Knox inline and Cook offset, selling run power before releasing the tight end up the seam. On another drive, Allen's QB draw mirrored the same formation, turning the defense's previous adjustment against it. Buffalo's red zone EPA, plus 0 to 64 per play, placed it among the league's best for the week, built not on trickery, but repetition, discipline, and sequencing. In totality, Buffalo's Week 9 offensive display was a reflection of a team that has matured from explosive unpredictability into surgical inevitability. Every element: Allen's rhythm passing, Kincaid's vertical gravity, Cook's run precision, and Johnson's situational spark, functioned within a symphonic structure where no motion or alignment was wasted. The Bills won not by overwhelming defenses with athleticism, but by dismantling them through geometry, timing, and controlled aggression. The offense has reached a state of dual-phase harmony, efficient through the air plus 0.26 EPA/play, and on the ground plus 0.13 EPA/rush. A rare synthesis that makes them both adaptable and sustainable. This was not a chaotic Allen-led shootout or a highlight reel explosion. It was something more dangerous, a Buffalo offense that understands exactly who it is, where every player fits, and how every snap builds toward the next. In Week 9, they didn't just execute, they dictated. And in doing so, they revealed a version of the Bills that may finally be both dominant and complete. Buffalo's Week 9 defensive profile against the Kansas City Chiefs illustrated a well-synchronized front dictates coverage, game plan that thrived whenever the pass rush disrupted timing and compressed the pocket. On dropbacks with pressure, the Bills smothered efficiency. Expected points added per pass, EPA/pass of 0.63, only 1.9 yards per play YPP, 3 sacks, and roughly a 15% sack rate, while holding average receiver separation to about 2.3 yards and limiting yards after catch YAC to 16 total. Without pressure, however, the Chiefs flipped leverage entirely, plus 0. 44 EPA/pass, 10.5 YPP, around 3.0 yards of separation, and 58 YAC, meaning every Chiefs' success stemmed from keeping Josh Allen's front 4 off balance. Buffalo's coverage timing splits show the same dynamic. They crushed the quick passing game under 2.5 seconds at 0.75 EPA/pass and 2.3 YPP, with tight slot and safety leverage. But once plays extended into long throws over 2.5 seconds, the Chiefs created explosives plus 0. 13 EPA/pass, 7.5 YPP. Depth analysis mirrored that rhythm. Short routes under 10 air yards yielded 0.67 CPA/pass. The intermediate 10-19 zone was neutral at plus 0. 11 and deep targets 20 plus were the only true stress point plus 1. 61 EPA/pass, 16.3 YPP. The stressors came when linebackers were pulled into space and the post safety was forced to expand horizontally. Cole Bishop and Terrell Bernard bore most of that deep target strain, while Cam Lewis and Christian Benford consistently closed space underneath, each allowing sub 2.0 yard average separation with negative completion rate over expected RYOE and coverage EPA results. Up front, Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau defined the tempo. Bosa's volume 29 pass rushes, 7 quarterback pressures, 1 sack, 0.72 get off, and Rousseau's blend of power and length QBP rate over 30% in long or lead situations forced Patrick Mahomes to climb or retreat, buying time for Buffalo's match zone shells to tighten. When Buffalo blitzed, the result was more containment than chaos, plus 0. 0.7 EPA/pass, 8.5 YPP, but lower YAC about 7 yards per each inspection apting, and minimal separation pay to hip. Without blitzes, McDermott's four-man rush proved far more destructive, 0.11 EPA/pass, nearly 53% of dropbacks pressured, and all 3 sacks arriving from standard fronts. Against the run, the Bills relied on structural discipline more than penetration. Even in light boxes 6 or fewer defenders, they held opponents to 4.0 yards per carry YPC, with negative rush yards over expected, 0.69. The neutral box, 7 defenders posted 0.54 RYOE/attempt, and even stacked looks 8+ yielded limited push despite allowing 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs gained marginally more success outside the tackle's 4.5 YPC than inside 3.4, but both lanes finished with negative RYOE, reflecting second-level fits cleaning up rather than frontline disruption. Overall, Buffalo's Week 9 defense functioned as a pressure-driven containment scheme that excelled early in downs and against rhythm throws, but exposed its seams when Mahomes extended plays or exploited vertical matchups. The Bills' best version remains their nickel. Lightbox look, coverage integrity underneath paired, with measured edge pressure from Bosa and Rousseau. They dared the Chiefs to win quick and over the middle. When the pocket held long enough, Kansas City's vertical spacing eventually found the cracks.